Alright, hi everyone. Today is Trivia Facts Debatables about Shabbat, okay? And we're not debating nothing here, okay? So keep your discord among the brethren to yourselves. Curses anyone who sows discord among the brethren. Okay, so, alright, so today is Sabbath, okay? Friday evening to Saturday evening. Today is Saturday and it is called Shabbat. Shabbat is called the seventh day of the week. Literally. It literally translates to the seventh day of the week. Seventh day, they call it. So, today, the Roman Catholic Church, the, Seventh-day Adventist Church, and the, what's it called? Messianic Jewish Church, in the Christian Messianic realm keep this day. Okay, on some level. They all do. Okay, then there's no exceptions. Maybe, I think also Episcopal, or not Episcopal, Eastern Orthodox keep this day, okay? Alright. So, very interesting, Now, they kind of, because we are Gentiles, we kind of keep the day without keeping the day. And except for the Messianic Jewish Church, who, they keep the day in full. And I can talk to you about how to do that. I'll probably touch on that, in a little bit. Now, everyone else kind of keeps a Gentile Sabbath, which kind of coincides with what they used to do for, like, Noahide and what the Gentiles used to originally do. But now we observe a little more, with a little more focus. With a little more focus as Gentiles. Alright. Now, what I want to say is the Catholic Church does actually keep this day. Because they go to church every day. So yeah. They go to church every day and sometimes different times on this day. Not always in the evening. Sometimes it's at noon. It depends on the church. Whenever they do their service. Okay. So, then we have, alright. However, I think in the Catholic Church, evening vigil service is mandatory. And Sunday or Rishon is mandatory. Okay. I've never heard that until this year as a Catholic, that it was mandatory to go to church in the evenings on Saturday. But I don't know why they picked evenings. But if it really is set to evenings, that's double Sunday by the Jewish calendar. So I don't know if y'all really want to do that. But I don't know if y'all want to look at reform ideas in regards to that. Alright. So, but anyways, like I said, the church times vary throughout a Saturday for the Roman Catholic Church, just like it does, every day of the week, So, like, for example, my church does, like, 12 o'clock, or, like, 10, 11 o'clock, they do a 12 o'clock service. So it's really good. Now, this is, so that's the original Sabbath. Now, that is called the seventh day, the last day. Now, Christ, he rested in the tomb on the seventh day. He was asleep in the tomb on the seventh day. So we're all resting the same time he rested. Everyone, Jews, Gentiles, everyone. And, then, so yes, that's what's really cool about it. Everyone's resting in the tomb on the seventh day. Then we have, okay, so then we have, what else do I want to talk to you about? Okay. Then the sacred name. Okay, so we have, the sacred name. And each letter of the sacred name, like Yod means hand. Yod means hand. Hey means behold. Vav, it's like Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Behold, or hand, behold, nail, behold. If you look at the meanings of those letters, just look up each individual meaning of the letter, you will see that they have words that have meaning. It's kind of Kabbalah, and each letter has a meaning. So that's it's like hidden knowledge that's in his name. Okay, now next day, they were in the tomb, we're resting, is sleepy time. Then the next day is Rishon, for risen. Okay, so we're just gonna like sprout up. We're gonna go to worship. We're gonna go. I don't know if people do like high praise and worship on this day. I don't know. Sometimes it's a solemn day for people. I don't want to say it's always like get up and run around and act a fool day. So, but yeah, it's a celebratory day. So every Rishon we celebrate that he got out of bed for us after he got slain for us. So we get up and we just party and we just praise him. And it depends on what, times and seasons are our attitude. And so that's what's really good. So yeah. Now I think different churches can do this different ways. Like if you're a Seventh-day Adventist, you might want to go to work the next day because that's your conviction about it. I don't know. So what would you do instead? You might want to try a Jewish prayer. Like, blessed are you, Adonai God, sovereign of the universe, who got out of bed this day and went back to work, so we go back to work. In Yehoshua's name. And that way you have made the day set apart. And you have acknowledged that he is risen and that the day is still holy. Okay, just like every day of the week is a holy day. You might want to pick up a practice, like just mindfulness about it, Or if you are Catholic or Protestant and you go to church on Rishon, you might want to do the same thing, but in a different way. So, like, blessed are you, Adonai God, sovereign universe, you got out of bed for us so that we could rest and have family time. So we can hang out, have family time, and celebrate in church together. There's like different ways of celebrating Rishon, you see. So, I haven't heard anything negative within the indie community about people going to hell for worshiping on Rishon or keeping a Rishon Sabbath. Or it was more of like a sabbatical, not a full Sabbath, because they want people to have free will on that, like a lot of free will on that day of what that looks like for them. They say it's like a relaxed idea of a Sabbath. Okay. So it's just spend time with family day. Go to church, spend time with family day. There were some things that were forbidden on Sabbath, like buying and selling, sorting through objects. Like if you're a Jewish person, you would know this better than we do, because as Gentiles, Christian Gentiles, we go to church, we might go out to eat afterwards. This is stuff that would be considered muddling it by the Jewish standard. Okay, so what we do different is, or what the Jews do different is, okay, like let's say we have like a light, like, okay, I have this light on, okay, it's a Sabbath, okay, if I turn off that light, I just muddled Sabbath, okay, alright, so if I sort through objects, I muddled Sabbath. If I buy and sell, I muddled Sabbath. And I think that is important knowledge too. Because, okay, our apostles, especially buying and selling, because our apostles were slain by a man who was obsessed with money called Nero Caesar. Okay, and they were slain by these money grubbers. Well, what do we do? What do the Jews do on Sabbath? What do the Jews do on Sabbath that is different? Is they don't buy and sell on Sabbath. They rest from it. They're like, I don't need money. I need Daddy in heaven. And it is considered more respectful not to buy and sell on Sabbath for them. I'm like, sometimes the Christian people also pick up that practice too. And so I don't know. It's just, what is good about the Messianic Jewish church is, okay, like when they do their Sabbath a little different from us, from everyone, like from both, I think the Jews and, I don't know. So let's say for a Jewish person who has a Messiah, let's say they could kind of relax a little more in the day than what they used to, probably. So everything's paid for already, like by Christ dying on the cross for us. So they hold that day in high reverence, still not to work because he died for them. But also, okay, so let's say they accidentally flip on a light, you know, they turned it off. Okay, is it, no, they already turned it back on. Okay, all right, no. Okay, so I plead the blood. That's all they have to say. It's like, that was an accident. I plead the blood. And they could just go about the regular Sabbath the way it always is. So it's just like their conscience is a little more eased because of Christ's sacrifice on the cross. Oh man. But yes, okay, so Daddy in Heaven did actually show me what that used to be like for the Jews, like how they felt physically, some of them, when they would dishonor the Sabbath. Like they would feel a shaking in the spirit. So it's actually a thing where they're like, I have to keep Sabbath and it has to be respectful. Like, remember the dude in the Bible, he picked up a stick on Sabbath and he died for it because he did work on Sabbath, okay? That was Old Testament. And then after Christ came back, it's like, if you accidentally make a mistake, you can plead the blood. Like they said, you can pluck the heads of grain on the Sabbath. Interestingly, we, the Gentiles, like me, are new to Sabbath, okay? We don't know what we're doing, you know. And also, not only that, guys, but it used to be punishable by death for a Gentile to make their own Sabbath or keep a Sabbath, or in general. But like, they could keep Sabbath, like they couldn't ask anyone to work, like the Jews couldn't ask anyone to work on Sabbath, but we were allowed to say, this is our Sabbath as Gentile people. Even to this day, I think some of the Jews, they'll tell you, we really only want you keeping Sabbath if you are coming in the door. And they said, and you still need to do something to not fully keep it. We want you in observance, but like a lighter observance is what they say when you're getting initiated. I just thought that was just interesting trivia. But we're, you know, so many of us, like Gentiles today, we just do, like, we're under the blood, we're under grace, so we're like, I'm just going to keep a Sabbath, you know. They you know, they just kind of pick and choose what kind of Sabbath that they would like to keep. So yeah, but originally they just had to keep Noahide laws. I don't know, we as a Christian community just said we're going to keep the Ten Commandments too. But if we were truly keeping the Ten Commandments, we would have our Sabbath the way the Jews kept the Sabbath, because this is a lightly kept Sabbath. So that's kind of how that is. But yeah, and I don't know, buying and selling is a little allowed more on our Rishon Sabbath. Rishon, okay, now this is Rishon for risen, Rishon. Okay, so Rishon. So he got up, and that's why we celebrate, and so it was also established, you know, same time. And so we have first day Rishon, last day Shabbat, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. So that's how that theology fits together, and that's full. So that's how we are. So that's what we're learning about. So this is all the stuff. I just thought these were some interesting ideas. So if you wanted to more mindfully, like say your seventh day, you're like, you know, I want to mindfully acknowledge his resurrection. Do a holy prayer ritual every Rishon and just be like, blessed are you, Adonai God, sovereign universe, you got out of bed for me today. You know, as we go back to work. If you're a Catholic or Orthodox, did you know that for Catholics, I think, or it's like, you can go to church any day of the week in Catholicism. Eastern Orthodox, I believe, same thing. And so everything's, so it's really good. So yeah, I think, so it's just, it's more like, they want, make sure you make the day mindful. I think whether you are, I think that's my message. Make the day mindful, okay? So make sure you say a prayer of gratitude. Some people light a candle. Some people light 2 candles. Some people do full Jewish ritual. Um, some people, it's just make the day mindful. And so like for Sabbath day, they do a relaxed Sabbath. The Jews might do a more strict Sabbath, but they do that because they want their robes to be as bright white as possible and they want to be as highlighted as possible, because they said that you need and it's not that they believe that their religion saves them, but it's that their religion, they believe, builds up this true spiritual fruit of the Father in heaven. Like, it builds up one of the spiritual fruit, self-control. Okay? Peace, love, joy, kindness, goodness, self-control, faithfulness, gentleness, peace. So what are they doing on Sabbath? They are building up their self-control muscles. So that's one of the best things. So you don't want to be, so yeah, I think that's one of the reasons. So it's like true, religion is to care for the widow and the orphan, and it's the religion that is going to build up your love. It's going to build up the fruit of the Spirit within you, okay? And that's, kind of what the point is of their faith. And same with Catholic faith and everything. They believe true love is the religion is the care is the love and charity. Same for all branches of Christianity. The true religion is love and charity. So yeah. And what's cool about Daddy in Heaven's name? Okay, so Gnostics, they call, sorry, it cut off. Okay, so Gnostics call Daddy in Heaven the One. Okay, now in the Bible, they call Daddy Master Yah. Now, Master Yah, his name is Ahava. If you look at the full name and try to speak it out loud, and it means he who is all loving, basically. It has the name Ahava in it. You can sound out each letter. Yad, Hey, Vav, Hey. And you will see Ahava in the name, okay? And so he who is all love. And so they call, so then we have Elohim or Elohim, and they have a short form Eloah and Eloah or Eloah. Now Aloha sounds like aloha, which is in Hawaii. It means hi, I love you. I went to Hawaii, they told me that. It means both hello and I love you. I was like, that's not that cute. And so we have, if you put all those names together, we have the one love, our supreme deity in oneness and truth and in spirit. And Yeshua, whose name is one with all of those names because he's Yeshua Emmanuel. And Yehoshua Emmanuel, and it's like Emmanuel Elohim, and so true love is all saving. So isn't it true that you can only be saved by love and salvation? Isn't it true that you can only get to eternal life through love and salvation? So that's why I say receive Yehoshua as your Messiah, so he can teach you the way. Okay, and so that's my pitch for the day. And so this is all stuff that is all pretty true, all true, and it's the debatables of our faith. Okay, so I just give you guys some things to think about so you can bring to your churches. Guys, we're about to go through Sukkot. In the Messianic Jewish church, they speculate that Messiah's birth was around the time of Sukkot because he came and tabernacled with us. So Mother Mary became pregnant as the tabernacle of Yehoshua HaMashiach. And, he might have been, maybe he was, and so she became the tabernacle, and then he was born in a tabernacle. So they're like looking at that as a option. So I was like, hey, if you're Catholic, Roman Catholic, Eastern, why don't you guys do like fish fries and do a little tent? Like, you know how y'all do the tent, the fish fries in the tent? Like, that'd be so cool. Even if you just did like one on the weekend, not a full one. Like not like fish fry all week, but do like, you know how we do fish Fridays during Lent. And sometimes I was like, wouldn't that be cool if y'all did a fish fry for Sukkot? I was like, I don't really know what everyone does in the Catholic Church typically for a Feast of Tabernacles, but I was like, when I worked at the school, St. Jude, I was like, they did a Fish Friday, and then I also go to Beth Hallel, and they do Sukkot, and I was like, I noticed, I was like, that would be so cool if they did that. So I was like, I don't know, we all gotta work together. And yes, and I want to bring people back. Like, I don't want you guys feeling condemned for using the name Jesus. I mean, it's a name. People are still healing the sick, raising the dead with that name. But I want you guys to pick up the true name, because it's like, Yehoshua, Yeshua, and it's like, if you're gonna lay your life down for Him, what name do you want to go down in? Okay, do you want to go down in the name, like a name that is only partially, or a name that's in full? And so what people are saying is that name, and they're saying it is partially, because Jesus is pronounced Yeshu in French. Okay, the literal spelling. Okay, but it's not, the pronunciation in English doesn't produce that pronunciation. So that's what I was saying. You want to go down for the partial or the full? Also, we have kids named Jesus around the world, so I don't want people saying, oh, don't use the name Jesus or whatever. No, use the name Yehoshua. Use the name Yeshua, Yehoshua. Okay. Now the name Jesus also, and Yeshu, the Jews on Jews for Jesus, they said that Yeshu was written in the Talmud as a slur, because they didn't want to remember him. So they said, please just, they said, may his name be blotted out, may no one remember him. Okay, so that's what the Jews for Jesus people told us. So I want the Catholic body to promote, within the Roman Catholic body, to promote that, so that we can build up our spiritual gifts of prophecy and love in Messiah Yahushua. I want you guys to promote using the Hebrew names at Mass, or bringing up the Hebrew names. And maybe even a Hebraic name Bible, like what they have. Like we have the Jewish Bible. We actually, in the Catholic Church, have a New Jerusalem Bible where they where they have the sacred name, but they don't put Yeshua's name in it. Like maybe a Catholic Messianic Bible, and Episcopal can pick up on that. They have a Bible in unity with the Roman Catholic Church too. I'm like, that should be some cool reform ideas for everyone. So yeah, I'm just thinking about fun ideas, like, and so yeah. Okay, everyone who's been going to heaven, though, a lot of times Yeshua, Yehoshua, he'll tell them, you know me as Jesus, I'm Yeshua. You're Jesus, yes, Yeshua. He'll say, yes, you know me as Jesus, Yeshua. A lot of times he just goes by Jesus. And I did ask him, I was like, well, there's so many rumors right now about the name Jesus. Why do you use that name? How do you use that name? Because someone said to me, he said, because I speak Hebrew, I don't need vowels to say that name. So there was like some sort of slur within the name Jesus, that like sus, the word sus means swine, and he said he doesn't need vowels to say that name. Because, look, like, even if you spelled it the way the Italians do, J-E-S-U-S, it's a G, G-S-S, Jesus. He doesn't need that. Like, whereas we look at the vowels as reminders, he doesn't need that, he said. So, I don't think he wants everyone fighting about names, or thinking that they're condemned, or freaking out and be like, I don't know, what's going on with my family or friends and stuff like that. But I think he just wants, because like some people get scared when they hear that stuff. And but he just told me, that's all he said. He's like, I don't need vowels to say that name though. So as far as he's concerned, there's no slur. So he just, so I just wanted to just kind of promote that. But stepping up to the true name Yehoshua, because I'm like, if I'm going out evangelizing and I get taken out, I am going to go down in the right name. Okay, it testify beyond the day you die. You see, so I hope that encourages you guys. Some priests, they'll just use every name that they know. They're like, yep, I'm in we're every name over here in this church. And I'm like, I would love within the Roman Catholic Church, like they have let's see, they have English service, they have Hispanic service. What if they did a Hebraic service? We don't have a lot of Hebraic services over here in the USA, or but they have Hebraic services over in Israel. They aren't really the Hebraic services are not broadcasted, the way they used to be. But I'm like, hey, y'all, we do that stuff over there. Why not bring it here? And just like they have for my confirmation service, we did for my confirmation service even, we did like 4 or 5 languages. And I was like, whoa. And I'm like, hey, why don't we add Hebrew? Like every once in a while do a Hebraic service, and people will listen to it, whether they people listen to it and they'll just kind of soak in the words of the Hebraic language. They'll just soak in it, whether they can understand it or not. And they could even model it. If you watch a Messianic Jewish service, you could even model it if you wanted to do a Catholic service that way. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I don't know, we have like so many Messianic rabbis that might even be able to come in and do like a guest appearance. So I just really encourage you guys to kind of explore both realms and get we need our Hebraic roots within our Christian faith, or we're lost, And I don't want the other churches to get erased. I want their culture to be preserved. Like so many people think, the answer is to convert everyone to Catholicism, but I'm like, I just like I went to the Catholic Church. I love my Catholic Church. I go to the or convert them over to the Gentile side of the faith. But then where's the flavor? Where's the culture? The culture gets erased. No, they want to keep their culture preserved. So yeah. So I really love that. I don't want it to get washed out. And so I really I encourage you guys learning from each other without trying to totally change each other. So yeah. Or, you could probably do both. Be both, So yeah. Anyways, may everyone be blessed and watched over and delivered from evil. Like, I thought about that because I'm from New Orleans and we have our own culture there. I'm like, the culture is so important to me. Because it's like a part of my family. So what we laugh and cry about, it's a big part of our lives. And I'm like, we don't want to erase the culture. So yeah. And I really encourage the Messianic Jewish Church, to link up with the Roman Catholic, not like, like the Episcopal and Lutheran are kind of they're trying to work out some sort of deal like Orthodox have, where they're considered the apostolic. All they have to do is just some sort of meeting with them, and you get an apostolic. You get called in one of the apostolic churches. I just encourage that, so that way you guys I don't know, just for peacekeeping. And so yeah. And then I want to encourage everyone to be one with the resurrection by making sure you check the news, because we are just check the news daily. I want you guys to check the news and check Vatican news, because the apostles are going to resurrect from the Roman Catholic Church. And I'm not saying, one church is the true church, because that's like what I call Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Okay, where he's like, I'm the only one. No, we're not doing all that, okay? So, and I know so many churches that do that. Like, I catch everyone doing that. I'm like, no. So, that's just Tigger. Tigger does that. And I didn't mean to do a Disney song. I actually renounced Disney, but he's just like, I'm the only one, And I think that's in the actual book. Okay, so anyways, so yeah, my bad about Disney, because I totally quit Disney, but yeah, I can't even right now with myself. All right, so it's okay. Now, let me think. But yeah, we don't want the I'm the only one church, okay? So, what we're doing is we are not doing that as the body of Christ, okay? And I've heard other churches doing that too. Like, they're like, which was the true church? We always hear that. Oh, it's New Jerusalem. It was the only true church, okay? The one from heaven that touches earth. You don't want to hear any of your labels are the true church. It's just New Jerusalem. Father, Son, the Trinity, and New Jerusalem is the only church, okay? So the heaven, and heaven is one with earth, and earth is one with heaven. So it's the believers of Messiah Yahushua, and who came to earth in the flesh. And so yeah, so that's the true church. Like, my husband taught me that. And in the Bible, it says all that old stuff, the old churches, all that will pass away. There will be a new heaven and a new earth, and the Father will be the church. There's not going to be a bunch of buildings and stuff. It's just, we're going to be one with heaven and on earth. My husband's out in the field saying he's out in God. He's out in our creator, highest creator. He's out in church right now. And he's out in church. So I'm really, he loves going out in nature because the Father teaches him out in nature. So yeah, that's how the New Jerusalem is going to be, kind of. It's going to be this free spirit church, is how I kind of envision that. So we don't want all that, but I love all these churches, and faith, and like, what will we do without them? Because, they're building up our foundation. They're helping with our foundation. A lot of times they're like, well, this, so because knowledge will come to us. Well, this knowledge, and then this knowledge. Well, do we eat? Like, here's one thing. Like, okay, if you do, I'll tell you the thing. Okay, so if you do Messianic service, they do risen bread all throughout the year, except on Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay. So, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. But some of our churches, they're like, do we do risen bread? Or do we do flatbread? Well, Roman Catholic Church, they're like, we're doing flatbread until Christ returns as a fast. And we're in mourning as a bride waiting for her husband, who's up in heaven waiting for her. So, it's like you have two perspectives there. Who's right and who's wrong? I don't know. You know, it's just, I don't really know who's right and who's wrong. So some people stick with the Jewish way. Some people want to do the Roman Catholic way. I would love, if the Father told me, I would tell you, but I don't have that knowledge, unfortunately. But, so yeah, for communion and stuff like that. So these are things that the different churches are debating. So these are all the debatables, all the conversations everyone's having. So when people ragging on each other, and so, like, sometimes people say they just need more knowledge is why people do it that way. It's just different denominations are kind of different faiths a lot of times. Even though they're Christian, they're all fit under the Christian umbrella, but different denominations sometimes feel like different faiths, and they are supposed to be the same faith. But I hope there will be peace and reconciliation with everyone. I hope this stuff made you laugh. A lot of times I'm trying to, like, make people laugh through this too. And I hope you have a beautiful Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. And I think that's about it. Okay, yeah, I'm just thinking, if there's something I didn't touch on. But that's the iron sharpens iron, and a lot of times that's the kind of stuff that we use to get to the right answer. So that's my knowledge dump for the day. Okay, so hopefully that knowledge dump helps you. I pray it doesn't hurt you. Let me know if you get any, if you get a knowledge dump back and you want to tell me what it is, let me know. I usually just keep the Jewish way. And then alongside Roman Catholicism, alongside Episcopal Catholicism, I stick with the Christian Judeo-Marian churches. Like, if there's been a Marian apparition, there's been a Christ and Marian apparition, I'm there. Okay? Same with, I love the Pentecostal church because they go to heaven. I like the churches where they're going to heaven. Okay? Like, where I see like that you get the testimonies from heaven, you get the visions, the miracles, the spirit of Pentecost. That's what you gotta go to. You gotta look out for the spirit of Pentecost. And you need to make sure, like for me, because my testimony is Marian, a big chunk of my testimony is Marian. I don't want to leave the Marian Union, okay? But I love I love all the churches in Christ. I see them kind of like the, what's it called? Okay, tribes of Israel. Okay, so you had Judah, you had Naphtali, you had Zebulun. They're all Israel. Okay, so we're all Israel in Messiah Yahushua. We're all grafted into Judah through Yahushua. Okay, so that is what, but we are all still our own little church tribes, just like we're all our own little individual people. And so yeah, and I guess wherever you feel the Father's presence is where you guys need to be. And if I walk into a church, what I feel for it is, do I feel love there? And if you don't feel love there, don't go into that church, and find the church you feel love in. Because like, that's the main thing, okay? God, the Father's religion is not religion, it's love. Do you feel love in these churches? Like I have, I went to one church. They just, I don't know. They just loved me until I loved. I was like, these people just love me, and I don't know. And I'm like, you know, at first, you know, when I'm building up my own love, and then they hugged me, and my love grew. And then my at the Catholic church, I just walked in. I felt so much love, and I was like, this is my church. You know, you gotta feel the spirit, feel the presence, and so that's what you're looking for in a church. You have to feel the fruit of spirit. You gotta feel love. You gotta kind of feel out the atmosphere. Okay. All right. So, keep searching, and let me know what you guys think about this conversation. Okay. All right.